And now I'm happy to go to our last point, a panel discussion that will bring characters from the industry and from competence centers together to discuss the importance of collaboration. And I will now hand over to the moderator and host for this final panel discussion, which is Iris Wunderlich. She's the project leader, mining and sustainability of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of the AHK Chile, and she will be your chair for this discussion. Iris, handing over to you. Happy to see you. Greetings to Chile.
Very much. I just saw that, yeah, you can see me on the screen now. I think my light is not that good, but okay, you can actually see that I'm here. Thank you very much for the short introduction. Thank you very much, Sophie, for presenting the German mining network. And I'm very happy to be the host for this conversation round at the Smart Mining Conference. And thank you for the organizers for giving us this space. So my name is Iris Wunderlich. I work at the German Chilean Chamber of Commerce and Industries as head of the Competence Center. So hello, everybody. I will just introduce my conversation partners shortly. I'm very happy that you're with me here today. So with me here, my colleague Simon Doleschal, head of the Competence Center for Southern Africa. Hi, Simon. Can you hear me?
Hi, nice to meet you. Nice to meet everybody here. Thank you for making time.
Thanks, Simon. Then Jan Patrick Hensche, head of Competence Center Peru. Hi to Peru from Chile.
Yeah, hello everybody here from Essen, Germany. Just this week.
You're in Essen. Sorry, I forgot about that.
So really near.
Really near. Yeah, I think Simon is there as well. So you're placed in Germany right now. Perfect. And then we have two industry representatives with us. And I'm very happy to welcome Olivia Fuka on behalf of RWTH, Esisayo Africa, and South African provider company, where Olivia is responsible for the business development. And RWTH was established in 1977, when I right, and is a manufacturer, leading manufacturer and distributor of attachments and ground engaging tools. So hi, Olivia, how are you?
Hello, everybody. I'm fine, and you? It's good to be here.
Thank you. Thank you to be with us. And last but not least, we have Klaus Hepp with us on behalf of Vulkan do Brasil. Klaus is president of Vulkan do Brasil and responsible for several markets such as South America and also Africa. And Vulkan company was founded more than 130 years ago and managed by the fourth generation of the Hackford family, and is headquartered in Herne, North Rhine-Westphalia, and a global supplier of for the mining industry. Hi, Klaus, how are you?
Sorry, Iris, to interrupt you. Klaus, you need to turn on your video. Instead, we're not able to pin you.
Can Klaus hear us? No, but Klaus should be with us, right?
Yes.
Okay, but we cannot hear him till now, and we cannot see him. So I'm sure he will figure out the technical problems in a minute, and then I will come back to him. Well, our session is about collaboration and the German mining network. And in all the sessions before, we already heard about innovation, open innovation, collaborative work, and the competitive advantages we can have with collaboration between institutions, companies, etc. Now I can see Klaus. Hi, Klaus. Sorry. Okay. I just introduced you. I hope you heard the introduction and you're with us now. I can't hear you. I can see you, but I can't hear you.
Yeah, I think now it should work. Sorry, there was obviously
now it works.
A technical problem, but seems to be solved.
Seems to be solved. Perfect. That's good to hear. So now you are with us, and I'll just go on with our conversation round. So hearing about all the challenges, all the collaborative innovation, the networking, etc., I just wanted to open this conversation round by asking directly to my colleagues from the Competence Centers, Jan, Patrick, and Simon. You are part of the German Mining Network, which Sophie presented to the audience. And what do you think is the added value in your daily work being part of the network? And where do you see the biggest opportunities for companies to work with you as being part of the German Mining Network?
Thank you, Iris, for this question. First of all, I want to say thank you to RWTH Aachen for hosting this great event and providing this platform for exchange. And because we are one partner, as part of the German Mining Network together with RWTH Aachen, I think we are talking about long-term relations here. Through the competence centers, we're able to build long-term relations. Just this week, together with Klaus, we had a delegation from Africa to Germany, and we're able to provide them a stage where they can present their company, where they can share their new developments, their digital innovations, like the new smartphone app he developed. And yeah, I think also it's important because we can impact and tackle complex topics. For example, like in Southern Africa, we are tackling the mining charter, which is challenging for foreign companies that want to enter the market. We're looking at topics like local content and like clean supply chain. And here we can give support as well. But we, of course, we are not the persons who know everything. That's why we provide a platform, for example, through working groups and subcommittees in the competence centers. And yeah, last but not least, from my side, I think Jan will add some more points here. We not only have the German clients, we're also looking at the clients and companies in the host countries. And here we can help and guide and see how we can, let's say, uplift and connect both sides and let's say, see where there are, synergies. Like, for example, Olivia's company, which already has, established great relations with companies in Germany. But yeah, Jan, you are next.
Yeah, thank you, Simon. Indeed, what you mentioned, I fully agree. I might put some emphasis on that in our network, our clients can benefit from just our exchange. So we have a network, you can say, around the world, from Germany till Australia, Africa, South America, Canada, and now also China. We, the colleagues from the competence centers, we also exchange informations, experiences. So that's what our clients can benefit from. That I know, I will ask my colleague in the other office what they're doing because they're just in the same minerals in this country. This is for one side, and for the other side, for the local companies which are interested in German technology. More of it's also that we can put us into contact between the competence centers, and we have also all the partners in the network from the German side. So I think this is really a fruitful cooperation.
Thank you, Simon and Jan Patrick. Just to switch over to Klaus, maybe, because you're working closely as well with the German Mining Network. How important is the active networking for your company, especially?
Yeah, first of all, I would like to say hello, because this is like a family meeting for me. So many friends here. I've seen also the participants yesterday already. It's great to be with you once again. What's the importance of networking and especially collaboration with the German Mining Network for a mid-size German mining supplier company like ours? I would say it's very, very important, because a company like ours is not big enough to have in-house all the resources which somebody would necessarily need who wants to explore worldwide business in, for instance, mining industry. Yeah, and therefore, to collaborate with a network like the German Mining Network is a very, very smart opportunity with limited own efforts, gain access to huge variety of very valuable information and contacts. Because we are talking about global as a mining as a global business. We talk about huge distances. We talk about multiple events at different places. So how shall a company who only has limited resources attend this all properly and still keep its budget? Yeah. So I think it's very, very good to have the German Mining Network and all the associations which offer very, very good access to people, to information, for participation. And that's exactly what we like, what we use.
Sorry, and maybe any concrete outcome, like a success story, a result of that networking or using the networking spaces?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when we started with our business expansion, with our industrial business in Latin America, which means for us from out of Sao Paulo, we do Mexico, Central America, Caribbean, and all the Andes region. So within a reasonable time, participating in the events of the German mining network and with other organizations, we gained a very good initial idea where we see our priority opportunities for doing business. And in the next step, by participation in the German Mining Network and GEMBA and VDMA events, we became access to local people, which you normally only gain very, very hardly, you know. How shall you do? You go to a country which is new for you and you want to meet people for doing business with them. How do you look them up? I mean, we all know that, and I think this was a very good comment from Andrew Scott from Metz Ignited when he told us earlier this morning, trust is an underlining fundament for effective collaboration. And I think in such a network like the German Mining Network, you start to know the people. There's always also social events besides the business events. So you start creating trust by knowing the people, knowing each other, and recognizing people you met on other occasions. And this gives the networking extraordinary strength because it's no longer anonymous. Yeah, the people know you, you know the people. Whatever questions, whenever you have, you can address freely, and we are all friends. I think that's the most important.
I would like to switch over to Olivia, because you are talking on your perspective as being a daughter company from Germany in Brazil. I would switch over to Olivia. Do you generally agree with what Jan Patrick and Simon said and Klaus mentioned about the importance of networking, having your perspective as a local provider in South Africa and not being a German company?
In actual fact, networking helps any business grow, and for us as a local company, being connected with the big players like Liba has actually opened doors for us with where ordinarily we would not have been able to penetrate. So networking is actually very critical for any business to grow.
So for you, it's like the matchmaking with, for example, German companies which could provide technology access to the German market, exchange experiences on technology, and to collaborate with them. So we have here very good perspectives on this panel. That's great. But both agree on the importance of the networking.
Yes. And just generally, German companies are known to be technologically advanced. So being able to be known to be associated with a German company on its own opens up different platforms, which is very important for business growth.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I would like to switch back to Simon for a second, because you started your position during this year, taking over the Competence Center for the Southern African region, and not only for South Africa. So I can imagine that networking in this highly complex constellation of not only managing South Africa and Germany, but also I think it's like 10 other countries or something like that, is very important, or it's very complex, because you're working in a more international context even than we are with Germany and Chile. So is it really, is it more challenging? Is it more fruitful, the networking factor here?
Thank you for the question. First of all, I want to say that the network would not exist without the continuous support from the German Federal Ministry for Economic Affairs and Energy, and also the exchange, as Jan Patrick mentioned. I think when it comes to looking at 11 countries, first of all, it might be overwhelming because you cannot enter every market at once, right? So you have to see, so we can help, in painting a landscape. So for example, next year we're planning to take on a European Union project in where we paint a legal landscape together and see, let's say, what is the legal situation for mining companies in each country. It can be quite tough to look at it, for example, giving the example of Tanzania. Each country is unique in itself. For example, South Africa, there might be an issue on financing, and we want to shed light into that, and we want to support companies like Olivia's, in having cooperations with German companies and getting out there, because companies like ROCTEC, like Olivia's company, they are not their market leaders, they're experts in their field, and they provide excellent solutions, right? And they're excellent partners. But it's important, within 11 countries, it might be, they know, they're the local partners, they know what challenges to tackle. So we are relying as well on the exchange between each other. And just today, we completed the 4th day of the delegation to Germany with great interest also. So I think we had 5 countries that we were looking at that were coming with us. So it's not only about, let's say, us helping them, but also for them to experience what it means working with Germany. And maybe one other thing that I want to say, that you might ask, what is the demand for the competence centers, and ask the question, why could companies not just do this, tackle this thing is in-house? But the demand is there. So just this year, by the end of 2021, we will have published 7 country reports looking at 7 different countries, have supported around 55 companies with their inquiries and interest in the Southern African market, and hosted 6 working group meetings with around 40 mining companies each. And then, I think that the numbers speak for itself, that there is interest in the competence centers, and that there is a need, to shed a light and to, make support the companies in understanding the issues and also the opportunities that are laying out there in the Southern African market. Thank you. Back to you, Iris.
Thanks, Simon. Maybe Jan Patrick, do you want to add something to that from your Peruvian side perspective?
Well, obviously, we cannot keep up with 11 countries and the EU project. So congrats to Simon for this big project. But indeed, with the companies, it's really giving them the expertise from the other competence centers is the most important point. And just by these competence centers in the countries, the chambers have built up some competence, some knowledge, which we don't have in every sector of the economy. So if companies come to us, to the competence centers, I think that's the difference to if they come from another sector. Just in mining, these countries of the German mining network, our competence centers have some very valuable knowledge to help them quicker. Just as Klaus mentioned, to get quicker into the market, to understand quicker the market. And I think there I'm speaking for every country. Mining always is a very special sector, so you have to know how are the rules, how it is played. So, and that's where all the colleagues of our network can help the companies.
Perfect. Thank you, Jan Patrick. And I would just go back to the presentations we listened to before this panel. It was all about innovation, collaboration, and I would like to shortly mention those topics as well, because when we are going a step further, not only talking about the classic networking, but also about the international collaboration in projects and the trend to have open innovation platforms. And we learned about the 4 pillars that were just presented, and how important it is to have access to information and to share values and share information and all this, to bring companies together for solving bigger challenges. Is there like a kind of recipe how to make those things work? And I would like to stay 1 second with Jan Patrick, because I think in Peru there's always also the trend of having innovation hubs and collaborative works, and to define challenges by the mining companies. Do you think it will work more in the future? Is it like, do you really see the trend on this, or is it like far away, still far away?
No, definitely. Well, you in Chile also have already these challenges done by mining companies, clusters, or associations. I've also heard it from other countries, and Peru is also beginning with it. And we from the Competence Center in Peru, one of our new tasks is just to communicate the new challenges that we have to the German network, to the mining network. Just yesterday they sent me one, so there will be 3 tasks or challenges from the new class, from the mining cluster, the SAMI from the south of Peru. And definitely I think this is a new channel to get new solutions into the market that works besides the conventional way where normally mining companies buy more what they already know. So these challenges or competence for ideas are just a very interesting way to get there with innovative ideas and new technologies. Thank you.
So our work as a German mining network will also be to be the channel of communicate those challenges and opportunities for the companies in our markets, and also for the German companies, so that they can participate. Olivia and Simon, or both of you, is there something like this also in the Southern African regions, the same trends here, or completely different?
Olivia?
Olivia, just go ahead.
Well, okay. I wouldn't answer for Simon. He'll elaborate on it. But generally for us, with our collaboration, how it actually works is, with any collaboration, you need to define each entity's parameters, what's expected out of the collaboration. There was a lot of talk about trust. Trust is very important. It's crucial for any collaboration to work. That's actually the basis. And there has to be well-defined metrics, which you can measure. For companies like Liba, they have a standard that they have to adhere to. So even here in South Africa, when we are manufacturing for them, we know what is required. So for any collaboration to work, the metrics have to be defined.
I agree. I very much agree. And I would say, for each challenge, there is a channel. And for example, we had yesterday, there was, the closing, kind of the closing session was on women in mining. So there is, let's say, still a gap, that has to be addressed. And there is a Women in Mining Association there. So we're working with them. Then, for challenges and, on business development and the legal landscape, we're working with the Chamber of Mines. So it's, there is multiple partners, local partners that you have to, engage with. And one core thing, I think that's the most important, by providing a platform, for example, through working groups. And we have 40 companies and 4 subcommittees in those working groups. One is skills, another one is legal, business development. And for those subcommittees, it's in the fourth industrial revolution. Sorry. These subcommittees, we will address these challenges that come up. And for example, the IP law, IP part for the legal subcommittee, we're talking in the subcommittee about skills. We're tackling on how can we develop the skills that are required for the smart mine of tomorrow, because that skills that the companies that want to engage in the African market, they want to modernize their mines. They have to keep in mind it must be human-centric modernization, and that's a key thing. There is research happening, for example, at the WITS Mining Institute, a close partner, I think, of the RWTH Aachen, and there's also, like the Nelson Mandela Present, that there is already research happening. So I think it's not only, let's say, to link up companies, but it's also important to get the research institutes together and to see how we can, foster those cooperations. Back to you, Iris.
Thank you, Simon. You mentioned human-centered. I would like to go back to Klaus. Klaus, you're like the master of networking, because you are always everywhere. And I would just like to ask you the question, as being head of such a big organization, seeing different markets and managing also people inside your company and organization. How do you motivate also your people inside the company to go to networking events, to make use of the networking accesses there are, and organizations and established networking opportunities? How do you do that?
First of all, Iris, we are not a big organization. In the contrary, we are very small, but our scope of actuation globally seen is very wide. I'm responsible for Sub-Saharan Africa, that's 48 countries. I'm responsible for business development in Australia, and I'm responsible in Latin America for Mexico and all South America. So countries enough, job enough. How to do that? It only works by inviting more colleagues, more collaborators to participate actively in the project. And for people to participate actively, nothing better than to invite them to participate in networking, because this enables them to make their own contacts, to gather their own information, and to define and start interesting projects which they can lead. And therefore, I think it's always the same situation. At the beginning, people may be a little bit hesitant, but I have no time and I don't know, and so on. And then once the ice is broken, the people like it because they create their own networks and they find it very, very nice. And like always in network constructions, networking requires, for my concern, 2 basic concepts. I would even call them ethical concepts. One concept is it's not a short-term project. Networking has to be practiced over a long time to grow it, to make it stable and productive. And the second point is some people think, I can use a network for my own purposes, almost a little bit egoistic. It also doesn't work because all other people identify these people immediately and then they ignore them. Yeah. So if you want to participate successfully in a network, you have to give and to take. Yeah. That's, I think, very important because the network in the end only recognizes people who also help the network and who bring things and to help doing things. as valuable members. And that's very, very, very important to know, yeah. And in general, I can say, if we say, okay, the organizers, the network, the German network offers platforms, events, information, and then the people participate and do actively things. And then is one side effect, which I would say you can also not underestimate, because amongst the participants in events, you generate many trustful relationships, friendships, which also give you a lot of input and valuable information. And technology today is not a question for one company. Technology, everybody is involved. And if people from different companies and with different technologies exchange experience and information, then normally always somebody finds a new opportunity. That's also wonderful, yeah.
That's very nice. Olivia is just doing like this with her head. Would you like to add something to what Klaus just told us from your company or from your experience?
Well, just generally, everybody sees the value in networks, and one biggest one is the growth of the organization. And just like Klaus, we're not a big organization, but through networks, our company has actually grown, and now we've got distribution networks across Africa, at least in 6 different countries across Africa and all over South Africa, and that's all through networks. So the company has grown, and that in itself has created so much value for our team. So everybody is interested in taking part.
So the growing and the internationalization, I would just make a small question, and then I'll just wrap up the conversation as well, looking at the time. I will just throw an idea to everybody, and you can just answer what do you think about it. Do you think that networking and collaborative work, is it more or less the result of internationalization, or is it more the driver and the secret to the success? It's like the question with the chicken and the egg, which was first? So is it a need to internationalization, or was internationalization first and then it comes to this? Just go ahead. It's like a very philosophical question.
Okay. I would say it's actually a driver. It's actually a driver to the growth, you know, through networks. That's when you get to penetrate the other markets in the international scene. So networking has actually been a driver, not a result, but the result is the growth.
The other ones agree?
Yes, I think.
Oh, sorry, please.
Oh, please,
Simon?
Klaus.
I would say it's a little bit both. Yeah, you know, to be true, I can't say where starts the animal, at its tail or at its head. I don't know. But if you do active networking, you will naturally get introduced to more international and global opportunities and projects. And the other way around, if you start doing international business development, no way out, you will naturally find to network activities and extend them. Yeah. So I think it's one road, it's the same road, maybe 2 lanes, but it's the same road.
Simon?
Yes. Yeah, aside from Germany being the country of the philosophers, thinkers, and excellent engineers, as we have here the RWTH, I think what is important is, you know, we want to invite you to join, you know, like trade fairs, like it's like the Indaba next year, like in Western Africa, the Wampex. And I think that's also one thing where we, for example, jointly come here into the game together with BGR at the Indaba on the German day. So if reach out to us, please get in contact with the competence centers. There's trade fairs, kickstarting next year, and we hope that they will take place. And then you have the right contacts already at your hand with the German Mining Network.
Thank you, Simon. Jan Patrick. You have to unmute yourself. You're on mute.
Well, as we are in the same room, we just have to be very cautious with the mute. If not, you would have an echo. Obviously, we don't have the same, how do you say, history of networking as Klaus Hepp. I agree with Iris that he really is a master in networking. But I also would say, well, it's a little bit both sides. No, so you one thing conditions the other, and the other way around. But what was mentioned several times is the word of trust. So networking with trust, so that I can be confident in the partner. I think that is the most important in both concepts, no, and internationalization and the innovation.
Thank you very much, Jan Patrick. And looking at the time, I think we are already done with this conversation round. And I just wanted to tell you it was very interesting, and I would like to be there with you, and then afterwards having a coffee and go into the more deeper questions. But well, I think we used very well the space, and the virtual conversation also works, as we saw during the last 1.5 years, I think. And thank you very much to Olivia. Thank you very much to Klaus for giving us the insights from the company perspective. And of course, thank you very much for joining us, Simon and Jan Patrick, our very appreciated colleagues from the German Mining Network and Competence Centers in Peru and in the Southern African region. So that's from our side, from the German Mining Network. I think Simon already posted the website also in the chat. So there you find us on the web. And thank you very much for having the space. And back to, I don't know, Tobias or Maximilian? Just
Yes, you can hand it over to me. I totally agree with you. Thank you all very much for this interesting discussions and insights regarding this topic. And Iris as well, thank you very much for leading us so wonderfully through this panel.